Hello, I'm Mark Tweddle. Welcome to You Tell Yours, where we share with you stories from our storytelling classes. This goes out on a podcast and on YouTube, usually on a Monday. And though I say usually on a Monday, I kind of mean often on a Monday or sometimes on a Monday. Let's just settle with hopefully on a Monday. You know, life's too short to be afraid of public speaking. So we decided to help anyone about to speak to an audience of any size, be it an arena or a boardroom. Go to YouTellYours.com to learn about our classes, both online and in Burbank, California, where these stories were recorded. There's even a free online video lesson to help you straight away if you're stressing about an upcoming event. This is Ep.17, and this week's story is from Laurie Schlaifer about battling pretty. A battle I think she's winning.
So I watch those Dove commercials, the ones that have the women all different sizes and shapes and colors and hairdos, and they tell us that they're beautiful and they're pretty. But I'm not so convinced because I have a problem with pretty. When I was 4, I was getting dressed for my ballet class, and I was putting on my leotard and my ballet shoes. And I looked in the mirror, and I was 4, and I looked at myself and I thought, God, your legs look fat. And I didn't feel pretty, but I was only 4. So. But my mom always said she wasn't pretty. And I didn't understand that because she was beautiful. But she scrutinized her body, everything about herself, compared herself to everyone. She had every piece of exercise equipment available in the 60s. The pulley thing that you tie to the doorknob and attach to your legs and you do like this. And the rubber band thing that you put under your legs. She had everything. She was on every diet. She was never pretty enough. She wore beautiful dresses and gold slippers, and her hair was in a big bouffant. Yet she was never pretty as that lady or that lady. So this started our dysfunctional dance, because if she wasn't pretty, she was pretty to me. If she wasn't pretty, then I wasn't pretty either. Or at least I wasn't pretty enough. So high school is difficult. High school in the Valley gagged me. So that's my ugly secret, that I am a Valley girl. So we had our own style of dress, our own way we did our hair. We even had our own language and our own way of eating. We were either anorexic or bulimic. But it was all about appearance, which is really quite ironic because fashion in the 70s was not very pretty. At any given day, you could find us in our leg warmers or dolphin shorts, cut-off sweatshirts, fair feathered hair, or maybe our urban cowboy look. But even I knew that the fair feathered flip was not pretty. Even I knew that. But so in high school, I lettered in volleyball and track and field, but still I judged myself, and I was always less than the other girls. And I spent most of my time trying not to be seen. And at this point, my mom had become an aerobics queen. She took every aerobics class at Sports Connection, Exercise Expert. She was in shape and she was thin, but she wasn't pretty. So if she was taller than me and thinner than me and in great shape and she wasn't pretty, then I must have been hideous. I was not pretty. And so our dance continued. my dance partners then changed. I started dating, and first there was Mark. So I was a fill-in between Mark's girlfriend, and he was trying to get the girlfriend back. So I was, no matter what I looked like, I was never going to be right. I was never going to look right. And after Mark was Eric. Eric wasn't sure if I was his type. And it took 5 years and 2 affairs later to keep figuring this out when I finally left. And after Eric was Jeff. So for Jeff, I was a trophy. But as you know, with a trophy, you have to keep polishing the trophy to keep it shiny. And what this meant was that if we were at a party and he would look at me and go like this, and that meant my lipstick wasn't on right. Sometimes I wasn't wearing the right clothes. I had to change clothes before we could go to the party. And then there were times when I'd feel his hand in my back, which meant I wasn't standing up straight enough. So this would go on and on. And what I never learned was that if I didn't love who I was, find myself beautiful, then nobody else was going to. So when I was getting ready for my 30th high school reunion, I felt pretty. I thought I felt pretty. I put on my most beautiful dress. I had great heels on. My hair was done right, and my makeup was done right. I had one of these little black choker things that we wore back then. And I looked pretty. I thought I looked pretty. But then, as I started thinking about seeing these people that I spent most of my time trying not to let see me, the fear started to become debilitating, and the pretty feeling started to disappear. So I took a Xanax and I went to the reunion. I have a problem with pretty. So I left the house, felt pretty. I get in the car and I'm driving, I'm looking in the rearview mirror. I'm pretty. And as I get closer, it started to go away. And it was leaving me. Parked the car. As I walked through the gates of the Wilshire E-Bell, I wasn't pretty. I ran to the bathroom to check my appearance to make sure that I hadn't become this hideous monster. And this would go on throughout the whole night. I had to keep checking. So I met a man at the reunion, and 8 months later, he asked me to marry him. So on your wedding day, when every bride is pretty, I asked him, "Am I as pretty as your last girlfriend?" And he said no. And I married him. About a year later, I got pregnant. And this is a time when most women feel lethargic and large and anything but pretty. But I felt pretty. It didn't matter what I ate, how big I got. I really felt pretty. I was starting to understand what some people felt like when they felt pretty. And what I had realized is that the dance was now with me and my children, or my child. I realized I was starting to understand pretty. I was finding a new me. I was somebody who needed now to be more than just pretty. I was going to break this chain. I knew that my mother had not intended to make me feel this way, but she probably felt the same way from her mom, and on and on. But I was going to break this chain, and it was up to me to decide how this dance would move forward. So I divorced the man who never found me pretty. And I tried my hardest to quiet the voices of condemnation when I couldn't get to the mirror, or the voices that doubted my appearance when I looked in the mirror. And my son would always know that he was handsome and smart and loved. And my daughter would always know that she was pretty and beautiful, and she would never struggle with pretty, because she would always know in her heart that she was beautiful. Thank you.
I hope you enjoyed Laurie's story. Our storytelling techniques are a practical way to get yourself heard, be it for a storytelling event, a business presentation, or any public speaking function. So if you'd like to tell your story, head over to YouTellYours.com for details of our classes and events both in Burbank and online. You can listen to this as a podcast at podcast.YouTellYours.com or find it on iTunes. Whatever you do, don't forget to subscribe to this, either the YouTube channel or the podcast. And you can email me at mark@quirkybranding.com if you have any questions about this podcast or need help with video and digital marketing. Thank you for listening or watching.